welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, no baby boom anytime soon. And in the second watch, summer camps, Michael Care Summer Intervention Program, and also Kaleidoscope Art Summer Program from the Edna Manley School of Visual and Performing Arts. For our social media question, we ask, to what age would you like to live? We're asking you to share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
All right, today's I quote says, just because it's what's done doesn't mean it's what should be done. And this is a quote from Cinderella.
Okay. Good morning, Joker.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm throwing this social media question to you.
I'd rather not answer that one.
No response at all.
None from me.
Yeah. You know what my response would be, Joker?
Till when?
Whichever age the Lord wants me to.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the best age, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, the first one should be back after this break.
Joseph Patty with the nice coca bread. Patty can't without coca bread. Lay the patty eat flat in the bread. Bread soft with coca bread. Patty hot gas can't eat the bread. Joseph Patty with coca bread nice. With them coca bread are my choice. When soft you know it tastes nice. Coca bread with the chicken no rice. Bread. Get the best patty and coca bread are juicy today.
School done? Time for fun! Don't miss out on first graduation flash sale! Sign up for Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus VCT and get a free Samsung A05 plus a $10,000 fuel gift card that can be used wherever Visa cards are accepted. Visit a full store today. Offer available until July 15 or while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Joan is living with HIV and she has the full support of her community.
Oh, John, one of my favorite passenger them. Nah, left on road.
Me, I love Joan. She sell the best box food on the block. You know what I say, Joan, the first year me ever do, I'm not left her out. My mom is the best. Anything she wants, I'm there for her.
Just like Joan, people living with HIV are a part of our community. Make a par, protect, accept, and respect. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
In life, the more you have, the more you have to lose.
The more you love, the more you worry. The more you own, the less you sleep.
The more people rely on you, the more you have on your mind.
I have peace of mind,
knowing that whatever I own
and whoever I care about are covered by the very best.
With Sagicor Life and Advantage General, get life, health, and general insurance to help you protect what matters most.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
On
your mark, set, get ready to go. It's time for the True Juice 5K, the one-of-a-kind experience taking you through the beautiful True Juice orchards in Boardwalk, Sunday, July 21, 2024. Register now at truejuice.com. Entry fee only $2,500. Come run, walk, and have fun while raising funds for the Lincoln Hospital. Follow at True Juice on Instagram for more details.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, fewer and fewer babies are reportedly being born on an annual basis in Jamaica. That's reportedly been the trend for at least the last 20 years. And meanwhile, many of us who are already here are living longer. Families today now have several members living into their late 90s and even 100s. In fact, Nora Miller Welsh, Jamaica's oldest centenarian, died last Saturday, and she was 110 years old. So what accounts for this shift? And how is it impacting how Jamaicans live and work? Well, to discuss this and related issues, we have joining us Professor Denise Eldemire-Shearer. She's the Professor Emerita at the Mona Aging and Wellness Center, and Dr. Paul Bourne, Lecturer, Research Consultant at VTDI. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning and good morning to your listeners.
Great, good to have you. I'll begin with you, Dr. Bourne. What more can you tell us about the stats, the reported decrease in Jamaica's birth rate and the increase in life expectancy? What more can you tell us?
Well, it's not a matter of what more, but what we can do is to put some things in sort of context. You mentioned that it has been happening for the last 20 years. That it started long before that. It was a transition. Demographers, we actually call it a demographic transition. This has been happening for some time in terms of having had people actually eating healthier, vaccines. All of those things have contributed to us having people having longer life. But with people having longer life and more persons are taking contraception, what you do now, you prevent the number of persons who are being born and you extend the life of those persons who are older. And now we're actually seeing what is actually happening now, having a population where we're talking about 1.3 births per female. And normally for a population to actually keep its continuation, keep its continuum, you normally need 2.1 birth per female. So that is a problem we are in today as a result of those issues that I mentioned earlier.
Hold on, repeat those stats there. 1.3 you said for the female?
We're at 1.3 births per female.
Birth per
and
female.
And for a population, what is called keep replacement, you need 2.1. So we're way below what the population needs to keep itself generating or regenerating in the future.
Okay. All right. Interesting stuff there. Professor Eldemire-Shearer. If the stats reportedly are accurate, what is your take on all of what's going on in terms of persons generally living longer?
Persons are living longer, but I want to take us back into the late 60s and early 70s, where this was actually a planned program.
Yes.
The whole family planning program, the size of the population that the planners, PIOJ or its predecessor, had said the country could sustain in terms of its health structure, its roads, etc., was in fact 2.9 million. So it's actually a success. We may not think of it as a success today, although I do. But for those who had done it in the 70s, this was very much the aim, because it's not just about increasing the numbers of people. You have to have the infrastructure to sustain them. Can you imagine more cars on the roads in Kingston, etc., in the morning? Can you imagine more people going to the hospital? So this, if we are going to say we need more people, it's not just a matter of the birth rate or the mortality or the social support system. It has to go much higher in terms of the planning process as to how the needs of this of an increase in the population past the 2.9 million is in fact going to be sustained. We still have unemployment. We still have unemployment. I have grave concerns about everybody saying, let us increase the birth rate. We're already saying we have 375 persons over 75 without adequate social support systems in terms of hospitals, etc. If you increase the numbers now, although you do want to get to the 1.9 or 2, you are going to have to find hospital services, etc., for them within the next 50 years.
If I'm hearing you correctly, Prof, are you saying that this is a moment for celebration rather than lamentation?
Parts of it are a time for celebration, yes, because it means that the persons in the 70s that did all of this and the family planning programs are actually have achieved what they were intended to achieve in the 70s.
Have they overachieved?
Exactly. So it's a matter now of a much broader discussion as to what to do.
Simon, if you want to come in, Dr. Boyd.
I want to put some context. I want to put some context to what Prof is actually saying. Because we need to understand clearly. Let's talk mathematics, because I'm a math person, all right? Let's talk mathematics. The population outside of those issues in terms of roads, infrastructures, all of those things, there's a fundamental issue with what is actually happening now. It is called the age dependency ratio. And that is where the challenge is. And that's why they are clamoring for more birth. Our current population.
Wait, before I go on, Doc. Sorry.
Population.
I'm sorry, Dr. Bond, before I go on. What is age dependency ratio? What is that really?
It is two things. One, where the number of persons who are children are depending on those persons who are at the working age, 15 to wherever, 60 for the working age. Number of persons who are over 65 over the number of persons who are working. And that is where the challenge is. So if you have a reduction in the number of births, what you're having with a larger base, you're having a smaller number, which means that we're unable to protect and provide for those persons who are pensioners. That is where the dilemma is.
So you are advocating for an increase in the birth rate?
No, I'm not advocating for an increase. I am saying we are going to be in a precarious position if we do not have an increase in the birth rate. We will not be able to sustain those persons who are getting older. Because with more persons getting older, it's not that they can work for another 30 or 40 years. You need young persons, as where the birth comes in. Young persons to sustain those persons who are older, who are unable to work, so they need a pension, they need all of that. And that is where the challenge is.
Prof, why is it that the life expectancy is increasing, generally speaking, in Jamaica?
Life expectancy is increasing because we have health-related programs that are promoting healthy aging. I hear what Dr. Bourne is saying, but I can also tell him that the statistics between the surveys in 1989 and 2011 showed a dramatic increase in the number of older persons who could physically look after themselves.
Tell you what, Prof, I'm so sorry, Prof. We're up on a break. Hold that thought. Literally, we'll be right back.
Time is now 7:15 a.m. You're listening to the Morning Watch.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today, 876-220-6474 or 876 332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we have been discussing the whole matter of, the birth rate vis-a-vis the life expectancy rate in Jamaica. And in so doing, we have online Dr. Paul Bourne, who's a lecturer and research consultant at VTDI, as well as Professor Denise Eldemeyer Shearer, Professor Emerita, Mona Aging and Wellness Center. I believe before the break, Prof, you were giving us some statistics and you were zeroing in on the whole matter of the life expectancy. Why is that so?
This is why I keep saying that this discussion has to be a much broader discussion.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I think I have now been working 12 years past retirement, and we have a retirement age that was set in 1980. Is that reasonable? There are many countries that have shifted the retirement age. We only have 16% of our working population contributing to a pension. We cannot ignore these other factors that are contributing to persons needing support, and the support that is needed in the later years is mainly financial. We have all of the health statistics to show you the persons that need care are over 80. When we did the 1989 study, 78% of the persons over 60 were physically and mentally well. In 2011, that increased to 92%, and we did clinical evaluations. We had doctors, we did blood. So while the life expectancy is increasing, so is the physical and mental status of that population, especially those between the ages of 60 and 80.
Just to be abundantly clear, Prof, are you advocating for an increase in the retirement age?
I certainly am, and have been for quite a long time.
And what's the number you're advocating?
No, I think it is going to have to be flexible, because there are persons that have worked all their lives who have contributed to pension, etc., who may want to go so to get the lump sum. So I think it's going to have to be flexible. It's going to have to be probably discipline specific. There are many retired nurses that we have sent home at 60, who go into other nursing professions and do a lot of homes, etc. Nigeria has upped their retirement age for academics to 70, so that they can continue to supervise students, etc. I don't have a figure. I just know it is something that needs to be examined, and we need Planning Institute in there to look at it from the policy point of view.
Dr. Bourne, your take on that, the retirement age?
Prof mentioned something which I want us to look at, and as I'm saying to you, that age dependency ratio is going to be a problem, all right? Because what we are seeing is, if more persons are getting older and physically capable and able to work or to sustain themselves, all right, if that is the case, what happens when they're unable to? And the population 0 to 15 or children are getting smaller and smaller. What happens then? That is what I'm trying to say. So I agree there has to be a broader context to understanding this phenomenon, because this is made more than just numbers. It's more than numbers. And I think what the discussion is about at the moment is about the numbers, looking at the birth rate to say, okay, then it is 3.4. And to say, and if it is 3.4 compared to what it ought to be at 2.1, then persons are panicking. But it must be had within a broader context. The retirement age, using life expectancy, I would say the retirement age should actually go up to about 70 to about 74, in keeping with age-specific professions.
Age-specific professions? What does that mean?
Absolutely. So take, for example, to work on the electricity, work on constructions, those things. Those things will be taken into consideration, as well as illnesses. All those things will be taken into consideration when you're actually going to be doing your planning. So it can't just be, okay, 75 years because Jamaicans are living up to 90 years or 80 years. No, it can't just be that simple. Because that's what we're going to be coming back to, where you're going to work a number of these individuals who are physically capable when they would have reached 60 or 65 into a state where they become incapable if you actually work them just like that, given a specific number of 70 or 75 years without other things being taken into consideration.
Forgive me, Dr. Bourne, it's still not clear what age-specific professions are.
All right. What we're saying is, when you look at the issue relating to age, and this, I'm talking demography here now, right? Jargons, concepts.
Mm-hmm.
When you take any profession, like for example, you take medicine, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Your age is a factor inside of how you work, all right? It's a critical factor.
How do they determine that? How do they determine that?
How you function. You know hear that?
You're going in and out, Dr. Bourne. How do you determine that? Age being a factor in terms of how you work. I'm not getting that.
It is well established. Bogue's work in 1973, many works. A matter of fact, even in Prof's work, we're
having some connectivity issues with your line, Dr. Bourne. In and out. Go again. All right. Professor Elimar Shearer.
Yes.
Still with us.
I'm still with you, but I'm not going into that discussion.
I'm moving ahead. What are some of the major challenges and concerns, though, which will automatically arise or have arisen in terms of the aging population?
One of the big issues that has arisen is what I actually mentioned, the lack of adequate pension. And that has nothing to do with the demographics. That has to do with the fact that our systems to insist on pension. I'm one of the ones that you may not know, but way back when we had all of these discussions, who thought that pension contributions needed to be compulsory. Persons, we either need to create more awareness. The 16%, other than NIS, because that is compulsory, but only 16% of the population, according to LICA figures, etc., are contributing to a pension. So you have more than 80% of your elderly or persons who are going to be older that are not going to have pensions in their later years.
Mm-hmm.
That is, when you talk about, now I'm not talking about birth rates and numbers now, I'm talking about sustaining this population of older people.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look at issues around pension. We have to look at issues around long-term care. And long-term care is not only nursing homes or residential facilities. Long-term care, which of course, or provision of it, which is going to be dependent on adequate pension, means having people for those over 80s that can come in and do a bed bath, which these are the sort of long-term care facilities we need to start developing as a country.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say as a country, there's a critical role here for private sector, because it's going to be volume that's going to make it affordable.
Yeah. And
in fact, the Ministry of Health, in its recent 2 years is recent. When you're my age, 2 years is recent. Yeah, has been looking at primary care renewal.
Yes.
And has been looking at strengthening the role of the community health aid. We have training next week that we are doing in conjunction. We have Ministry of Health people coming to increase the capacity of the community health aides when visiting. We need to identify medical issues, social issues. Loneliness is the number one problem. Where are our activity services for older people? You retire, you go home. What is there for you to do? We need to get more volunteering going, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So all of the discussion around the birth rate for me also has to include what you just asked me. What can we do that we don't have concerns about older people not being properly cared for? Because clearly that is a concern.
Yes. I'm not sure if Dr. Bourne is back on. Yes, continue, Professor Elmashira.
I want to make one important point. We keep talking about care of older people. What is care? As one of these older people, I'm going to tell you I don't need care. You know that I am still able to look after myself. And I'm going to tell you, as all older people are, let's say the 92%, we have contributed and we can still contribute. A lot of older people are picking up children at school. They are contributing to through grandparenting, to helping with children while younger people work. Let us not only examine older persons as a burden and as needing to be looked after. Many 78% of the persons in 2012 owned their house. They're paying property tax. They're paying electricity. They are contributing to the economy. This needs to be a wholesome discussion.
Yeah. Okay, and we're having that. At least we're starting that. Dr. Bourne, you back with us?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, man. I'm still with you.
Yes. So, in terms of the challenges with the birth rate, what are your recommendations going forward?
It's a complex issue that has to be addressed while we simultaneously work with other things, because we need to understand clearly that you can't actually say to a person, listen, come off contraception and actually go and have children because we're having a birth rate dilemma, without looking at the other issues that are going to be there that are unable to sustain that birth rate issue that you're actually trying to push on people. So there has to be a delicate balance between encouraging people to have more children, women that is, and trying to fix some of the issues that are embedded in society that have actually kept us at a place where we are third world or a developing nation.
So we should encourage people having more children. The two is better than too many thing thrown out the window.
Boy, I'm saying I don't even know what to say. It's complex. It's complex. And that's why I'm saying we need to fix a number of issues, and they must be addressed while we are moving into a direction of throwing away this two is better than too many argument, or even trying to go 3 or 4 or 5 better than actually whatever. So we need to look at where we are as a country. Can we sustain having persons having more children without fixing infrastructural issues and social issues that are happening in society as we speak?
But are we not at a good balance in terms of our realities? You know, that we're no longer going to be arguing about overpopulation, at least not for now. And at the same,
we're not in a good state because that's what we're having the discussion. So we are saying there is a problem on one side of the equation. It's like an equation that you're trying to balance, and you have done something to one side. The fact that you have done something to one side, leaving the other side is not going to make it balance. This is a challenge that we're having right now. That's what we're speaking.
Prof, 15 seconds. You have the final word.
I think that this matter is much more complex than initially thought. I suspect that having increased the education of women, you are going to have a real challenge, since women now want to work, want to go up the ladder to stay home and have more children. I think that you're going to have a serious challenge. And I think we need to look at retraining in the workplace for those 50 and over. I think we need to look at moving the retirement age, and I think we need to look at long-term care.
Interesting and stimulating discussion. Thank you so very much, Professor Elmashira and Dr. Bourne. Have a safe day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
The time by Jam Bank is
7:30.
On your mark, set, get ready to go. It's time for the True Juice 5K, the one-of-a-kind experience taking you through the beautiful True Juice orchards in Monkwalk, Sunday, July 21, 2024. Register now at truejuice.com. Entry fee only $2,500. Come run, walk, and have fun while raising funds for the Lincoln Hospital. Follow at True Juice on Instagram for more details.
Need to beat the heat this summer? Come
Come to Falls Ridge for your ceiling fans at prices as low as $15,000. Their sleek and stylish 52-inch fan blades are designed to fit and complement your interior decor. Call them now at 876-937-5099 or visit any of their locations in Kingston, Mandeville, Montego Bay, and their newest location, Draxall. Beat the heat this summer at Falls Ridge with their Madison ceiling fans. Prices as low as $15,000. Open Sundays.
Happy follow Grey Sardine, that a flavor. Grey Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. Do all of them nice. Pass the part, make a shell it.
Pick up Grey Sardines with peppers, vegetable oil, water, and olive oil with peppers.
Cook it up, we breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Shake it out, spice it up, make it simmer. Grey Sardine, yeah, the better flavor. Quick and easy as a quint it. Ready?
Grey Sardines, follow the better flavor.
The Paris 2024 excitement is building. Are you ready? Watch the Summer Olympics in style with an epic game party kit inclusive of a huge 65-inch smart TV, immersive soundbar, game day essentials, plus food vouchers for you and your squad, all courtesy of Visa. Tap into your game day spirit when you spend just $15,000 or more with your NCB Visa credit card. Tap for gold for a chance to win with Visa. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Women's Oasis Ministries presents a symposium from victims to victors. Come hear the stories of domestic abuse survivors. Tracy and Harry, Crystal Buckley, Garcia Wittick, and Vanaya Jack Davis. Green Acres Retreat Center, 330 to 331 St. Agnes Way, Spanish Town. From mess to message, from victims to victors. Saturday, July 13, 12 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Call our website 764-544-4711. Your healing is just a prayer away.
School done? Time for fun! Don't miss out on first graduation flash sale! Sign up for your enroll for only $4,999 plus PCT and get a free Samsung A05 Plus at $10 off your gift card that can be used wherever Visa cards are accepted. Visit a full store today. Offer available until July 15 or while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing in the Gleaner. Holness accused of overreach in cancelling House committee meetings. Also in the Gleaner, Integrity Commission says 8 parliamentarians are being investigated. In the Observer, local government minister says Jamaica was well prepared for Hurricane Beryl. Okay. And in Loop News, repairs to markets badly damaged by Beryl being fast-tracked. And that's coming from the government. And also we see in Loop News, is it Nayoka Clunis faces Olympic uncertainty despite selection. Well, those are some of the major stories and headlines in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. To what age would you like to live? We're asking you to leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Women's Oasis Ministries presents a symposium from victims to victors. Come hear the stories of domestic abuse survivors. Tracy and Harry, Crystal Buckley, Garcia Wittick, and Vanaya Jack Davis. Green Acres Retreat Center, 330 to 331 St. Agnes Way, Spanish Town. From mess to message, from victims to victors. Saturday, July 13, 12 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Call our website 764-544-4711. Your healing is just a prayer away.
Hey everybody, it's time for Small People with Auntie Vashti.
That's right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children. This is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun. We come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti. Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
And every afternoon, small people.
Here is your opportunity to connect with someone who will listen, pray, and give guidance. It's the Ministry of Counseling and Prayer of the Edgewater Baptist Church. Please call 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. Weekdays between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Please talk to someone if you're finding it particularly challenging to cope during this period of crisis. Someone is waiting for your call. Please reach out today. 876-220-6474 or 876-332-7956. It's the telephone counseling and prayer ministry of the Edgewater Baptist Church. A reminder that somebody cares. Endorsed by Love 101.
When I come to the end of myself, Father, carry me.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Jukal for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. To what age would you like to live? Jukal?
All right, so we have responses here. We're going to start with the ones on YouTube. Jermaine Johnson says, working longer will allow less room for younger persons to move up in certain professions. Then he says, working conditions will affect how long you work in a profession. Finally, he says, I would love to live as long as God has purposed. Both my parents lived to the age of 80 years. All right, thank you, Jermaine, for that. Edna in Montego Bay sent a voice note. Let's hear from her.
What age I would like to live to? Well, although I like to live as long as my grandmother, who died in the 70s, and she was 100 plus, but it's what God says, not what I say. To live, I will live and declare the glory of God. Life is good, regardless of what, and you don't want to live to a certain age, yes, and the age come with complication, a lot of things. But God, whatever age God says I'm to live, I will surely love to live what God says and declare His glory.
All right, thank you for that. So we have another one from Cherry in Spanish Town.
Good morning, watching all the wonderful staff of Love 101 and all listeners. Very interesting question. What age I would love to live to? This man, whatever age the Lord would have me to live. In Psalms 90 verse 10, it speaks about God give us 70, which is 70 years. But the reality is many of us don't live to see that age, and many persons live after that year. So whatever age God give me, that's what I would love to live to. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Cherry. Thank you so much. Those are our responses so far.
Okay, so Jermaine, Edna, and Cherry, we appreciate the responses. As we now segue into the second watch, summer schools have traditionally been seen as a place for students needing academic remediation. And yes, we still have those. But a growing number of programs are showcasing their broader benefits. That is, beyond the classroom, these programs introduce children to art and culture, fostering creativity and personal growth. Well, the Michael Care Summer Intervention Program and the Arts Scope Kaleidoscope Art Summer Program from the Edna Martinez College are prime examples of both formats. And to tell us more about these programs, we have online Miss Shalika, I understand, Matthews, clinical psychologist and head of the clinical services at Michael Care, and Miss Doreen Reed, head of School of Continuing Education and Allied Programs at the Edna Manley College. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Great. Now, ladies, why are your respective organizations having summer programs, and what value will they bring to the participants? Beginning with you, Ms. Reed.
All right. Good morning again, and thank you for having me. Now, we are having this particular program. It's a long-standing program for us. It's not anything new. Always been having, because we are also very much aware of the positive effects that the arts will have on the youth. As a tertiary institution, it may come as a surprise to some that, okay, we're having summer school for children and not necessarily for the students of our institution. It is because we want to also be able to give access to every single individual. And the important thing about our summer school is that the age range doesn't target just small children. We go for teens, we go for adults. So we have something for everybody because we want to make the arts accessible. We understand the behavioral transformation it does. We understand the personal transformation. And we just understand how just the immersion in the arts can allow individuals to find self, identify self, and to become and to be. And so for us as an institution, it's important for us to preserve culture. It's important for us to help individuals develop. And so we have decided to continue this long-standing tradition of giving art to everybody during our summer period.
And just for the record, how long has this been going on?
I can tell you it's over 10 years because I was a student at Edna Manley College and I attended from 2000 to 2003. And even at that time, the summer program was happening and it even started before that. And I've said that you mean you're looking at about 20 years, so we are more than 20 years strong in our summer program.
Okay. Miss Matthews?
Thank you. My name. Thanks for having me as well.
Yeah.
So the value of our program is really that it does give students with learning challenges an opportunity to address learning gaps without the demands of the school curriculum. So a heavy focus is placed on core numeracy and literacy concepts, because what happens sometimes is that when students go to extra classes, the focus is on what's being taught at the grade level or in class at that time. But these students often are struggling because they miss things along the way. And our summer program, which is a 3-week program, allows for more intensive and concentrated intervention on those core skills to help propel students forward.
Yes. And well, is it a new program? Or is
No,
it,
it's not.
How many years are you talking about?
Well, longer than I've been here, which is at least 8 years.
Okay.
So it's been going on for quite some time. Right now we have 120 students being serviced this summer, and that's typically how many students are able to access and provide services to during the summer period.
Yes. And you mentioned about numeracy and literacy. Say more on that, please. What's that about?
Okay, sure. So we look at, in this program, a lot of the students that come are functioning significantly below their grade level. So we have students in grade 5 that are reading at the kindergarten level, and the span is pretty wide. So we pre-screen students in order for us to group them based on their skill level, so that we can really target where their challenges are. So whether we need to focus on phonemic awareness, word attack skills, word recognition skills, or reading in context, reading comprehension skills, we target the classes that students are placed in towards their needs.
Okay.
And in terms of math and numeracy skills, we really look at what the theory or the model is guided by concrete representation or abstract method, where we really provide students with a lot of manipulative and concretize.
Okay. Tell what Ms. Matthews, open a break, eh? Hold that thought.
Okay,
Right
no
back.
problem.
Praise sardine for the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
Praise
selling.
sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is 7:45.
Sharing the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
School done? Time for fun! Don't miss out on first graduation flash sale! Sign up for Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus VCT and get a free Samsung A05 plus a $10,000 fuel gift card that can be used wherever Visa cards are accepted. Visit a full store today. Offer available until July 15 or while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Know how much you can afford to spend. Be truthful with yourself and honestly determine how much you can afford to save or borrow. Do not rush into any financial decision. Always remember that you are responsible for your own financial well-being. So be smart about your financial decisions and choose products that are right for you.
This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Mama work hard, for real. She do the most to send me and my brother go school. So, the dream was always to go to university. Well, I fulfilled 2 dreams with 1 Jane Bank savings plan, you know. I further my education and I make mama proud.
Save so you can take the part, travel far, graduate like a star.
Stop wishing you could. With your Jane Bank savings, you absolutely can. Jane Bank will help you find a way.
Jamaica, your favorite gospel show, Jamaica Gospel Star, is back on CVM TV, Sundays at 8 p.m. starting July 14. Tune in and be blessed. And don't forget that your vote counts. Yes, your votes will help to decide the winner. 10 finalists, 3 rounds of elimination, but only 1 finalist will be left standing to become the 2024 Jamaica Gospel Star. Sundays on CVM TV, 8 p.m. starting July 14.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this second watch, we're looking on summer programs that have been spearheaded by Michael and the Edna Manley School of Visual and Performing Arts. In so doing, we have online Ms. Shalika Matthews, clinical psychologist, head of the clinical services at Michael Care, and Ms. Doreen Reed, head of the School of Continuing Education and Allied Programs at Edna Manley College. Before the break, I think, Ms. Matthews, I had interrupted your train of thought. Please continue.
Okay. I was speaking to how we approach numeracy remediation, where we focus heavily on the use of manipulative, that such as coins, buttons, just really things that kids can use hands-on in order to build their retention and help them to really cement the skills. And then we move up to abstract, which is kind of when you just talk about the problems, where you have worded problems, things like that.
Yes. So, ladies, how will these summer programs be financed? Is there a cost to the participants, for example? Ms. Reed, first.
Sure. Our summer program is $35,000 for the entire month. We go until July 31 for all the students who are there, whether you're in the Kaleidoscope or you're in our art school program.
So each participant is to pay $35,000?
$35,000, yes. At the beginning, we had an early bird rate where once you registered before by June 26th, they would have paid $31,000 as an early bird rate. And we had quite a number of persons who took up that offer. And so that offer is now passed. So we are now at the $35,000 mark.
Okay. And Ms. Matthews?
Our program is a 3-week program. It sat across the parents at $12,000 for the 3 weeks.
Could you repeat that, please?
It's $12,000 for the 3 weeks. We are at capacity right now, though, but that's the standard cost of our parents because we are generally a government organization, and our target demographic is to serve parents or students who are not able to afford some of the services that we offer privately, which comes at a much higher cost. So many of our programs are heavily subsidized in terms of how much we charge.
Yeah, and walk us through the daily activities if you can. Beginning with you, Miss Matthews.
Okay, so our students are grouped into blocks. So they will alternate between literacy and numeracy. So say today, the students that start with numeracy after lunch, they would flip and go to literacy in the afternoon. So they have concentrated blocks focused on each skill area that alternates per day. There are also some sessions that are computer technology sessions and art sessions as well. There's one per week of both of those because there's a heavy focus on academics, but we try to make it fun because it is the summer. So we try to infuse as much fun in actual learning of the academics, as well as some blocks where they're able to have like competitions with each other or just mixing it up a little bit with technology or art.
Sounds interesting. And Miss Reed, walk us through the daily activities, the highlights.
Okay, so for us, the daily activities, they vary for the different age groups. So for our Kaleidoscope program, where the students are from 4 to 11 years old, they have timetable where they immerse in all the art forms. So for example, one timetable might have an age group doing dance first thing in the morning at 9 to 10, then 10 to 11, they do something else, maybe drama. Then they break for lunch, and after which they'll have visual arts, and then they'll have music to top off the day. And of course, at the end of the day, if parents are unable to pick up at the required time, the students are allowed to go in aftercare program. Again, it's another immersive art program where the students get a chance to also help to determine what some of their activities could look like for that period of time while they're waiting on their parents to come and pick them up. For our older students who are the Art Scope students, they specialize in a particular area. So if they're in dance, what you'd find is that there's a specific timetable where they get a chance to learn different genre as well as different elements of dance, such as the dance making, etc. Visual arts, it's the same thing. Drama, it's the same thing. So they all specialize in an art form at the art school program, and that age group is from 12 to 19, thereabout. One of the interesting things about our program I should point out is that, especially this year in particular, we're getting a lot of special needs children because a number of parents struggle with where to take them, what to immerse them in. And I think one of the areas over the years persons have found is that at Edna Manley College, we embrace and we take everybody because, as I said at the beginning, art is for everybody.
Yeah.
And so they bring them in, our special needs coordinator who we have will work with us, give us ideas. The parents work closely with us, and we find ways to accommodate them so they themselves can also become a part of the art. And this year, we've really gotten quite a number of them in our program this year because we're quite open and we find creative ways of getting them involved. Some of them have different developmental delays. Some might be 16, but they're functioning at age 9 or age 6. So we find ways to immerse them, put them with a particular age group that challenges them, but that's not too difficult for them because it's not only about the physical development, but it's also about the social development and the social skills that you want them to get.
Right.
So we use the art form to find a way to assist with that kind of developmental level for the children.
Sounds interesting as well. Now, you've been using a nice big word there, Miss Reed, kaleidoscope. What's that? What's that?
All right, so when we think of kaleidoscope, we talk about colorful mixed up blend. So that is why that program is integrated. Right, so it's not any one thing. You're not focusing on one art. It's a kaleidoscope of art forms and things that you will do within that
mixture
program. Yes, a mixture of things, mix up and blend up, but fantastically beautiful.
Yes.
And these usually
go ahead.
culminate in a major production at the end.
Yes. Yeah. Where exactly will these programs be held? And give us the specific dates. I know that perhaps for one of the programs already started, but give us an information in terms of where and when. Miss Reed first.
Okay, so we are at 1 Arthur Wint Drive on the campus of Edna Manley College, 1 Arthur Wint Drive. Our program started July 1, and so we were able to do July 1 and 2, but Sister Beryl came and Beryl delayed us somewhat, so we resumed Monday, July 8th. And we're going to go all the way until July 31.
Okay. Ms. Matthews?
Our program started on Monday, July 8th, and we go on till Thursday, July 25th. So we are a Monday to Thursday program. We're located at the Michael Care Center branches in Kingston and St. Anne. So that's 5 Manhattan Road and 5 Roy Street.
And you're already full, right?
Yes, we are, unfortunately. Our program fills out pretty quickly.
And Ms. Reed, you're not full.
No, we're not full. We're still open. We're still doing registration. We go from Mondays to Fridays. For the art scope, it's 10 until 4. And for the kaleidoscope, the smaller children, it is from 9 until 2. So we're still open. We're still taking registration. Technically, we would have just completed week 1, given the fact that we had a delay at the start. And so our registration continues into Monday. Somebody might be saying, okay, but we're going to be losing a week or 2. We do have a 2-week registration where persons can come in, and the 2-week registration would be $25,000 and not $35,000.
And how can they register?
They can register by either coming to campus, or they can just email us at sceap@emc.edu.jm. Just email us their interest, and we can send them our registration form for them to fill out and just send it back to us. They can make payments online and upload, and then they come in. So the process can be done right from in your living room or right at your office desk.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up our discussion, ladies, how will the overall success of these programs be measured or assessed? Ms. Matthews first.
Okay. As I mentioned earlier, we pre-screened all the students before we started. So at the end of the program, we screen them again. Parents are provided with a report regarding how they performed at the beginning and how their skills are looking at the end. And we analyze that internally so that we can continue to adjust our program as we go along to make sure that kids are benefiting as best as possible.
So you have a long-term assessment ongoing in terms of years from now or months?
Well, it's combined for it. Well, it's compact for this summer. So what we use are empirically based strategies. So there's research that shows that these strategies work, but we still want to know how the actual kids are benefiting, and parents want to know if they made any progress, which is why we screen the students so that parents can see, yes, they learned more letters or letter sounds, or they're reading at a higher grade level, so that they can perform that well. But internally, we want to make sure that we're always improving our service. So if it didn't work as well as you wanted to, we always look at it to see what can we change for next year to make sure that we're always doing better.
In 1 minute, Ms. Reed?
No, we generally try to do our surveys after we speak with the parents in terms of, get a feedback on the program. We also observe the children from when they would come in to develop the program until the end of the program, what it is that we know that's different. We also get their own feedback from time to time, because the best feedback will come from the children, and children can be brutally honest. So it tells you whatever it is that is going on with them. And then we also look at, over the years, we look at some of our repeat people, and also why is it that they would have come back.
Okay.
Because why they come back is also important to us, because it tells us whether or not our program is reaching. And then we focus specifically on some of them on our special needs individuals.
Have to leave it there. Okay.
Whether the numbers are growing, why they are growing, etc. Are they getting the value that they would have come
have to leave it there. Leave it there. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. And we wish you all the best in the short term and the long term.
All right. Thank you for having us.
Great. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information, we'll get copies of this program. Call our production department at 876-968-95967. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dallin Toussaint, reminding you to join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. And you back to Love in the Morning with Jukal Dyer.
Thanks for listening to the Morning Watch. Coming up next is Affording Faith.